This next hit by Dialga needs to take out Solgaleo, otherwise Solgaleo has gone through. Dialga goes for Uproar. That's never going to knock out Solgaleo, even with the stat boost. Solgaleo and Lunala are moving on to the quarterfinals to take on Regieleki and Regidrago. Welcome back to another episode of MetroMania. In the last installment, we saw Dialga and Palkia fall to Solgaleo and Lunala. Solgaleo and Lunala made plenty of space to give Dialga and Palkia plenty of time to mourn their loss. You see what I did there? Now, of course, the quarterfinals are shaping up. We have quarterfinal 1 already decided, but we got loads of heats left to go. Today is Heat 3, Mew and Mewtwo versus Articuno and Galarian Articuno. So here we go. It's Mew and Mewtwo versus Articuno and Galarian Articuno. I know there's a couple of you guys out there going, why would you pair up the legendary birds with their Galarian counterparts? And I'm like, doesn't that just make sense? Because that makes them technically pairs of legendaries. Just made sense to me. Plus, the Galarian forms of the legendary birds are relevant right now. So got to get them in, mate. Got to get that SEO in. Mewtwo's going to start things off with Spore. Mew and Mewtwo are a very interesting pairing, of course, because Mew is one of the strongest Pokemon probably in this tournament, and Mew is one of the weakest technically. It has base 100 in every stat, but only a base stat total of 600, so not a great deal of power or defense behind Mew compared to the other legendaries in here. Goes for Torment, which is going to be a problem for regular Articuno. It means it's going to be able to use Metronome every other turn, but then every other turn it's going to have to struggle. There's the Safeguard from Galarian Articuno, playing defensively first of all, and of course regular Articuno is fast asleep, so maybe the Torment will wear off whilst Articuno is asleep. I guess we'll see. Plus, who doesn't like the Galarian forms and the regular forms of the legendary birds? I really like them. I know some people were saying yes, but there's so much electric weakness on and rock weakness on the Articuno team, for example, or on the Moltres team. And you're like, yeah, but it's Metromania. How often do weaknesses come, how often are they guaranteed to come into play like that in Metromania? Here's Nightshade from Mew onto Galarian Articuno. Of course, Mewtwo increased its speed by 2 stages with agility. Now here comes Galarian Articuno with an Aurora Beam, which would have been more powerful coming from its ally, but no worries. Does a decent amount of damage there to Mew. Doesn't get a speed drop. Pretty sure Aurora Beam can drop speed, I'm pretty sure. Of course, regular Articuno is still fast asleep. But either way, if you're in favor of having the legendary birds and their Galarian counterparts as teams, if you're not, doesn't matter. Just enjoy Metromania, because what a fun series it's going to be regardless. Here we see Sludge Bomb from Mewtwo onto regular Articuno for a good chunk of damage there. Can't poison it because it's asleep. Here we see Confusion from Mew, which will have same type attack bonus behind it. And of course, does regular neutral damage to regular Articuno there. Galarian Articuno would have resisted that. What's it going to do here? Going to go for quick attack, though, is Galarian Articuno. Probably wishes its partner Pokemon would come into play here. And it does. Here's regular Articuno with its first move of the battle. Gearing up, going for Poison Jab onto which of its opponents? They do seem to be targeting that Mew right there. Didn't get the poison on Mew, which is a good thing for Articuno, because if you poison Mew, Mew's got synchronized, which means that Mew will then poison Articuno. Here we see Mewtwo, who's going to go for Mega Drain onto which of its opponents there. Doesn't matter because they both resist it. Bringing regular Articuno down to less than half its max HP and restoring a little bit of HP to Mewtwo right there. Now it's over to Mew for its part in this turn. What will it do? Going to go for Misty Terrain. Interesting play there. Let's see how that plays out going forward. See if it has any effect. I mean, sometimes the terrain just has absolutely no effect. This is what I mean. Sometimes weaknesses and resistances have an effect on the battle. Sometimes Pokemon knock out a Pokemon with a move that it resists and stuff like that. And sometimes terrain makes an effect and sometimes it doesn't. Here's Smart Strike, though, from Galarian Articuno onto Mew there. Guaranteed to hit. Doesn't quite bring it down to less than half its max HP, though. Here's regular Articuno, who does bring Mew down to less than half its max HP, but takes 25% of its own HP in recoil damage. So that's not looking good for Articuno. It needs to shake off that Torment if it can. But they are being smart by taking down Mew as quickly as possible. But they should focus a bit of fire on Mewtwo, who, of course, has a lot more power behind it. Here's a Leaf Tornado onto that Galarian Articuno. It is resisted, but does get an accuracy drop on Galarian Articuno, but that is going to activate the competitive ability and raise Galarian Articuno's special attack by 2 stages, so not the greatest of choice of move there by Mewtwo. Here we see Struggle Bug from Mew, which is going to land on both the Articuno there and give them a special attack drop by 1 stage, but you know what that means? That means Galarian Articuno is down to +1 special attack, but then competitive is now going to raise it up to +3 in total, so +3 special attack attack on Galarian Articuno. Watch out for its firepower now. Galarian Articuno is going to go for Heat Wave, which is avoided by Mewtwo, but is going to land on Mew with +3 special attack. Massive damage, takes down Mew. Good night. Galarian Articuno taking the first casualty of Heat 3 of MetroMania Season 10. Regular Articuno is going to go for Weather Ball. Now they can focus their attacks on this Mewtwo. And of course, that's not good for Mewtwo. It's now fighting on the defensive, basically, but it's got a lot of HP left, and it's got a lot of power behind it. Like, Mewtwo's special attack is base 154, so it's definitely got a lot of firepower behind it. It's definitely nothing to be scoffed at. Here we see Rock Blast from Mewtwo, which is going to be super effective on Articuno. Just one hit takes it down. Of course, it's 4 times weak to Rock, so just the one hit with the Rock Blast there is enough to even things up for Mewtwo. Now it's one Pokemon left on each side. We get Psycho Shift. That's going to fail from Galarian Articuno. That gives Mewtwo another opportunity going forward to try and mount some offense here. I mean, it's definitely in a much better position now that it's only against one Articuno. We see Healing Wish. That is going to fail. Big mistake by Mewtwo. Over to Galarian Articuno, though. What's it going to do here? It's going to go for Guard Swap, which is effectively a wasted turn. Like, that's a bit of a disappointment right there, Articuno. I don't know why you'd go for that at this stage of the game. You want to be taking out this Mewtwo. This Mewtwo is going to be a big old problem for you if you really don't buck your ideas up. Here comes Mewtwo, though, with a Vice Grip, spelt wrong in my humble opinion. Doing a decent chunk, I'd say quite a big chunk of damage with that critical hit onto Galarian Articuno, who's getting very, very close to the danger zone. Needs to do some kind of offense. Goes for Burning Jealousy. Let's see how much damage this does to Mewtwo. Beautiful. I couldn't even find the words there. Beautiful. Massive amount of damage from Galarian Articuno onto Mewtwo, really evening things up there. Now over to Mewtwo. Is it going to land a killing blow on Articuno here? It's going to go for Fake Out. That's going to fail. That gives Articuno another opportunity. Why would you do that? Articuno's ready to go with Poison Jab, maybe trying to poison Mewtwo if possible and take it out slowly. It is down into the danger zone, though, is Mewtwo, and it's not looking good right now for the Mew and Mewtwo team. Here we see Mewtwo going for hard and increasing its defense. That might be too little too late. Going for defensive boost when you're in the danger zone is never really a wise idea when you should just be going on the offense at this point. Here we see Galarian Articuno is going to go for double hit, though, avoided by Mewtwo. Testament to that accuracy drop from earlier in the battle. So I guess Mewtwo did protect itself with that Leaf Storm earlier. Was it Leaf Storm? I cannot remember. Leaf Tornado. Power Up Punch, though, from Mewtwo onto Galarian Articuno. Going to be resisted because it's a Psychic type and it's a Fighting type move. And there's the attack up one stage of Mewtwo over to Galarian Articuno once again, who's going to go for Electrify. That is going to fail. So Mewtwo has another opportunity once again to try and fight back. What's it gonna do here? It's gonna go for Swagger, which is a risky play there. Going to increase the attack stat of Galarian Articuno by 2 stages, but confuse it. So it could potentially knock itself out in confusion, but if it ignores the confusion, then you're just giving it more firepower, and it is going to ignore the confusion this turn. How is that going to affect Mewtwo going forward? It's going to go for Weather Ball, is Articuno, which is a special attack, but it's at +3 special attack, so how much damage is it going to do? It's enough to take down Mewtwo, so round 1 is over. Let's hear from our sponsors before round 2.
Now then, you guys know I'm a big fan of professional wrestling. There have been so many great quotes that have come from professional wrestling. There was that one time when Stone Cold Steve Austin famously said, "Oh, bit chilly in here." There was that time when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said, "Where the f*** have I parked my rental car?" And who can forget Hulk Hogan saying all those racial slurs? Oh, maybe not that one. But I think the most memorable quote in the history of professional wrestling was when The Undertaker and Kane both uttered at the exact same time, "Use code ACE for money off G Fuel, lads. You'll get money off and help out Liam's channel." Oh, remember those days? Weren't they great?
And here we go with round 2. The first round went to the Articuno team. I think much to everybody's surprise there. I think we thought Mewtwo would be a lot more powerful than it's shown itself to be, but maybe it just had a bad round. Who knows? But Mew and Mewtwo now need to secure a victory in this round if they want to go through to the quarterfinals, or if they want to have the chance to go through to the quarterfinals. Mewtwo going to hide up in the air using Bounce. Not a bad strategy to start things off. Potentially could paralyze one of its opponents as well, which is nothing to scoff at. Here Here we see Mew going to start things off with Slam. Very basic attack, but avoided by Galarian Articuno there, who now has an opportunity to move. If the Articuno team, we go for Haze, removing stat changes that haven't happened. Bad play there. If the Articuno team can secure a victory in this round, then they've guaranteed their place in the quarterfinals, and then we'll go to a Pride round where Mew and Mewtwo can fight for Pride. Here we see Grass Knot avoided by Mewtwo, so Articuno and Articuno both failing to achieve anything in that first round. Here we see Mewtwo, though, with the bounce. Big damage there to Articuno for a bounce. And now we see Mew starting things off as well for its team with Heat Wave. I say starting things off. That's the second turn, and it's had its attack avoided by a Pokemon once again. But Articuno takes big damage because of its ice typing. Of course, typical, the Pokemon with the weakness is the only one that gets hit by the attack. Here's Corrosive Gas from Galarian Articuno, going to corrode the items of its opponents and its ally there. So everybody but Galarian Articuno has a Leper Berry now. Although as long as Mewtwo's on the field, that Leper Berry can't be eaten. We see Water Gun from the regular Articuno there onto Mewtwo for a bit of chip damage. But regular Articuno already has lost more than half its max HP, so it needs to be very, very careful going forward. Mewtwo is ready to go, though, and it's going to go for Darkest Lariat. That would be super effective if it's on Galarian Articuno, and it is! So a big super effective hit, huge damage, more than half of Galarian Articuno's max HP has gone. This is a great round for Mew and Mewtwo right now. We see U-turn, which will be neutral on Galarian Articuno, so that's a good chunk of damage there from Mew as well. Now the Articuno team need to fight back right now. Galarian Articuno is going to go for Sludge Wave. That's going to hit everybody on the field, but has a chance to poison everybody on the field as well. Does a decent chunk of damage to everybody there, including its ally. Mewtwo is poisoned. Anyone else? No, nobody else poisoned. So that's a very lucky turn for Galarian Articuno there. Regular Articuno is going to go for Water Shuriken onto Mewtwo there. Let's see how many hits it gets. We've got 2 hits so far. That's the minimum. That's the baseline. There's 3 hits from it. We get a 4th. Are we getting a 5th? We're not. We just get the 4 hits, and there's the poison damage as well onto Mewtwo. So Mewtwo's now down to less than half HP as well. So the Articuno team had a very successful turn, I would say, that turn. But now it's over to the Mewtwo and Mew team once again. Mewtwo is ready, though, and it's going to go for Clanging Scales, Shades of Kommo-o right there, which is going to do huge damage there. Takes out Galarian Articuno. Regular Articuno, of course, is down into the danger zone, very close to death. And the defense has dropped 1 stage on Mewtwo, but I don't think they're worried about it at this point. Mew is going to go for Stun Spore, which is going to land on the Articuno and paralyze it, even further crippling it there. Articuno is not looking so fresh right now. Could this be the equalizer? Could this be Mew and Mewtwo turning the tide in their favor? Articuno, don't count it out, though, could force this battle to go to a Pride round. If it hits some big moves on Mew and Mewtwo in the next couple of turns, we could see a 2-0 victory. Here's Mewtwo, though, starting things off for this turn, going with Confusion and its Stab. I mean, forget what I was on about. That's an equalizer right there. Articuno goes down before it can even mount any offense, and there we go. We're back into a 1-1 situation. Whoever wins this round goes through to quarterfinal 2. It'll be the first quarterfinalist of quarterfinal 2 in this season of Metromania. It really could go either way. If you've not already said down below in the comments who you're rooting for, then why not let me know? Why not let me know? Vicious Rend, though, from Mewtwo for huge damage, moving first. Almost took half of Galarian Articuno's HP there. And Mew is going to go for Heal Bell, and that is going to be a failed turn for Mew. Now over to Galarian Articuno. What's it going to do as a follow-up here? It's going to go for Throat Chop, which will be super effective and prevent sound-based moves for, I think, 2 turns there, doing a big chunk of damage to Mew. Everybody's busting out the big guns right now because everybody wants to go through to that quarterfinal. Belly Drum from Articuno. How wise is this, though? I don't think we've ever seen a successful Belly Drum user in Metromania. I feel like every time someone uses Belly Drum, they always end up having issues afterwards. So be careful, Articuno, is all I'm going to say. You're at +6 attack, but you've got to get some physical moves out. That's the trick there. Mewtwo's going to go for Acrobatics. It's still holding a Leper Berry, so it won't do as much damage as it potentially could. Bringing Galarian Articuno down to less than half its max HP, though, with that bit of chip damage there. And now Mewtwo is ready in play to use Stockpile. Going to increase its defense and its special defense by 1 stage apiece, which is never a bad shout. Protecting yourself is always a good idea, especially early on in a battle, although it already feels like we're so far through this battle already. Galarian Articuno is going to go for a not very effective Vacuum Wave on Mewtwo, just to take a bit of its HP off, just to give it a warning shot and basically say, hey, mate, I can damage you, you know, and I'm gonna, is probably what they're saying. Here's regular Articuno, who's gonna go for Electro Web and lower the speed of Mew and Mewtwo there whilst dealing a little tiny bit of chip damage there. Any damage is better than no damage, so don't scoff at it. And dropping the speed can be very, very handy going forward for the Articuno team. Let's see if it has affected the turn order of the battle now. And it has. The Articuno team are now the fastest thing on the field, so they have another opportunity to attack here. Galarian Articuno is going to go for Withdraw and increase its defense by one stage. I'd have gone on the attack, mate, personally, but that's just me. I guess I'm more about firepower and less about self-preservation. I'm sure there's a metaphor in there somewhere. Here's Baby Doll Eyes, though, from a regular Articuno onto Mewtwo. Now, that's a good strat there. Take out Mewtwo's attack, because its attack stat is what? Base 110? Which is a bit scary. We got Poison Gas from Mewtwo. Great play there. Gonna poison both the Articuno there. So both Articuno now suffering with a timer. They are now poisoned. They are now slowly but surely going to be withered away if they can't take out their opponents ASAP. Here we see Mew, though, with X-Scissor. On which Articuno there? On the Galarian Articuno, so it is neutral, putting it in the danger zone. Only a couple of turns left for Galarian Articuno now because of that poison. In fact, maybe just one turn left for Galarian Articuno because of that poison. So they really need to pull the big guns out here if they're going to secure that place in the quarterfinals. Which way is this possibly going to go? The Mewtwo team is looking a lot healthier, though. Can Articuno change this? We see Pollen Puff. That'll do it. Galarian Articuno with a Pollen Puff on Mewtwo for massive damage there. Don't count them out just yet. Super effective here. Bringing Mewtwo very close to the danger zone. And now we see Articuno going for Burn Up. That's going to fail because it doesn't have the fire typing. Can't use Burn Up if you don't have at least the fire typing. Here we see Bug Buzz, though, from Mewtwo onto Galarian Articuno there, which is enough to take it out. So we're now down once again, much like the previous battle. We're down to one Articuno versus Mew and Mewtwo here. Mew has an opportunity. What's it going to do here? It's going to go for Shadow Force, so it's going to vanish instantly, hide away, protect itself from damage at the start of the next turn, and then go for Articuno, who is suffering with that poison damage there. Is Shadow Force going to be enough to take out Articuno? Who's doing the calculations right now? Because Mew and Mewtwo are in a very good position here. What is Articuno going to do here? It should take this chance to take out Mewtwo if it can. Goes for Flail. How much damage will that do? I mean, it's a +6 attack, so down goes Mewtwo. If it can survive the Shadow Force, then it is going through. Here comes Mew. How much damage will it do here? It's enough. It takes down Articuno, and Mew and Mewtwo are quarter-final bound. Well done. That was neck and neck at the end. Imagine if Articuno had survived then. That was incredible. Well, don't forget to tune in next week. Let's take a look at those brackets. We'll be seeing Moltres and Galarian Moltres versus Xerneas and Yveltal. Make sure you tune in.
So that'll do it for another episode of MetroMania. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to share the video. And of course, use code ACE for money off G Fuel. And come and hang out with me on Twitch. Don't be scared. Twitch is lovely. Twitch.tv/AceTrainLiam. Love to talk to you in real time. Until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.